All right, so let's just hop right into it. I was minding my business on Beyonce's TikTok and I ran into a couple of posts about Erika Kirk's Bible in 365. Now, Bible in 365 is partnered with Proclaim Streetwear, which is her brand. If you guys remember in Candace's episode on Friday, she told us that Erika Kirk did not actually file for an LLC until after she met Charlie Kirk. So really and truly, this brand hadn't been up and running until she met Charlie Kirk. And of course, my assumption is that she wanted to seem like she was doing something with her life, and of course she needed a man to fund it, and I'm firmly believe that he funded Proclaim It's 365 and she used his name and platform to grow herself. Whatever, I'm not even mad about it. Many women marry up, so to speak, and then their husbands sort of put them on the map. Okay, fine, whatever. Don't really care about that. But Erika Kirk has an app called Bible in 365 where you go through the Bible in a year. Here's what's interesting about that. Erika Kirk's pastoral leader is from Egypt. And I'm going to let you listen to a brilliant TikToker tell you all about this man. Because when I started hearing his background, I immediately thought, Mossad. Immediately. And guess what church he is associated with? Calvary Chapel. He's associated with Calvary Chapel. So Erika Kirk's 365 Calvary Chapel Egypt connection is right in front of our face. Let's take a listen to this video file. Give me a second to pull it up, you guys. I'm still not like super smooth at this, so forgive me, but God bless this TikToker.
Okay, so I was just on Erika Kirk's website, mrserikakirk.com, and it led me to the Bible in 365, her app, where you can read the Bible in a year. Anyways, so I listened to this cringe video of her explaining it, and then I scrolled down and it says, meet our pastoral advisor. So the main pastor of this Bible app series, James Kaddis. And it says that he is from Calvary Chapel. Okay, the McCoys, I get it.
And remember, Calvary Chapel sends people to, that our greatest ally quarterly. In fact, a group of people from Calvary Chapel in a different state just came back from our greatest ally, the country that is our greatest ally, because of the war in Iran. So just so you guys know, this is huge with Calvary Chapel. They are very into the Z word.
He's been there for 32 years. Okay. He also serves as the police chaplain and has an extensive background in network engineering, computer forensics, and law.
Okay, pause. Do you all remember when, I can't remember if it's Coach Colin or Barron, but do you guys remember when we were talking about how a lot of police officers are being trained by the Mossad? Do you guys remember that? Tap into your resources into the back of your brain. Do you remember that? Immediately when I heard this, I thought, here we go. He's got a background in intelligence. He's got a background in police force. He's got a background with Calvary Chapel. This is screaming connections.
Okay, that's an interesting background for a pastor at Calvary. Okay. So then it says he is also considered an expert in computer networking and security.
Perhaps because they're geofencing the Bible in 365 people. He is, he's a pastor, okay? He is the chaplain of the police academy, has experience with the police academy, has been in security. Now we find out that he is in networking, computer networking. You guys tell me that this is not This means nothing. Tell me this means nothing.
And has several years of experience working in that field with both law enforcement and professional organizations. Okay, security, forensics, law, police. That's a colorful background for a pastor. Okay, let's move on. I nearly lost it when I read this. Pastor James is the first generation in his family to be born in the United States, to parents that were both born and raised in, can you guess it? Can you guess it? Egypt!
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. I don't believe in coincidences. I do not believe that coincidentally he is from Calvary Chapel. I don't believe that coincidentally Calvary Chapel is one of the churches that is partnered highly with our greatest ally. I don't believe that it's a coincidence that he is from the very country where the planes were following near. I just don't believe it. You want to talk about a handler? People are talking about handlers. What if that's her handler?
Egypt. Egyptian planes. Egypt. This is Proclaim 365, Erika's company that she owns. The lead pastor works at Calvary Chapel and is Egyptian. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. Look here.
Bible in 365 allows you to select how you'd like to receive your daily readings. Connect exclusively with the Bible in 365 community.
I know Charlie and Erika Kirk better than most people that even say they know them well. And I'm saying that because I think that I can speak on reasonable authority when I talk about what I'm about to talk about. And I just want to simply say this. Israel is facing a war that is so unbelievably complex that the only way you can describe it is by going back to Bible prophecy and reading what the Bible says is going to happen.
I'm gonna let you finish. Okay, let me pull a Kanye West. I'm gonna let you finish. But this, I don't believe in coincidences. This is the rhetoric that is rampant in Bible in 365. I have another video for you, which a woman, so this video is very recent, but a woman came out about a month ago and posted, "Hey, I'm in Bible in 365 and I'm shocked by the amount of pro-Israel content that is in Bible in 365." She literally said that. I'm going to show you guys the video. But this is the pastor that is the head of Bible in 365. And you heard the words right out of his mouth. This is a biblical prophecy. You have to go back to the Bible. This is pure ethnic idolatry. And I do not think that it is a coincidence that he is from the country of the plains and that he is working with Calvary Chapel at all, because those two are interconnected without a doubt. Calvary Chapel is so pro our greatest ally. They believe in the seventh, the third temple being raised up. They have all these weird beliefs about, who's God's chosen people and who can do what. Calvary Chapel is and on the whole, not all Calvary Chapels, but on the whole, Calvary Chapels are churches that do not believe the true gospel. They believe in salvation by grace, and then they believe that if you are ethnically a certain ethnicity, that you are saved because of that, and that you do not have to pass any kind of judgment test, or you don't have to conduct yourself in a special way because you are the chosen people. And he promotes this in her app. So tell me, how does this square with Charlie's last few months of life? How does this square with Charlie's last few months of life? It can't. And you know what? Let me let this finish and then remind me to talk about why it's so strange that she's going back to Catholicism, because You cannot. You literally, because Catholicism is all about replacement theology. They do not believe in any sense of the word that our greatest ally is they don't believe in any sense of the word that they are, the chosen people. So it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let's continue listening to this, and then we'll get to the next video where
we are looking at a set of geopolitics right now that are literally forming into the world that is Ezekiel 38. And it's time for us to start thinking about those issues right now. There's a reason why people are beginning to grow hungry for Bible prophecy. There's a reason why people are becoming more interested in all of these things by the moment. Because they're very real.
You guys, can I show you Ezekiel 38? Ezekiel 38 is a prophecy detailing future end times invasion of a regathered Israel by a coalition of nations led by Gog of the land of Magog from the far north. So these people believe that this is a holy war. They went in and destroyed a country and then are calling it a holy war, and he's condoning it. This is her pastor. And where is he from? Egyptian Plains. And what church does he go to? Calvary Chapel. Rob McCoy. Somebody needs to look in whether or not she knew Rob McCoy before Charlie too.
Folks, this letter that I just read is not only important to the legacy of my little brother, but it's more important to the future of our country. Look, I'm just going to say this. The United States of America is inconsequential in Bible prophecy. It is. It's completely inconsequential. My hope and my prayer is that the inconsequentiality of the United States of America isn't because it degraded so terribly as a result of its hatred for Israel, that it becomes a nothing country. My prayer is that the inconsequentiality of the United States of America is as such because there was a spiritual awakening. I'm hoping and praying that that spiritual awakening started with what happened with Charlie, because I think that's happening. And with that spiritual awakening, and yes, dare I even say the revival amongst the church, that the United States of America becomes inconsequential in Bible prophecy by virtue of the fact that it was vacated because of the rapture. That's what I'm praying for. I hope you're praying for the same thing.
Let's go back and listen to what he said about Israel.
It is. It's completely inconsequential. My hope and my prayer
Hold on.
now that are literally forming into the world that is Ezekiel 38. And it's time for us to start thinking about those issues right now. There's a reason why people are beginning to grow hungry for Bible prophecy. There's a reason why people are becoming more interested in all of these things by the moment. Because they're very real. Folks, this letter that I just read is not only important to the legacy of my little brother, but
I think he's calling Charlie Kirk his little brother.
it's more important to the future of our country. Look, I'm just going to say this. The United States of America is inconsequential in Bible prophecy. It is.
He's saying that we don't matter because we are not Tiny Hat. That's what he's saying. America is inconsequential in Bible prophecy. The only thing that matters is Tiny Hat. That's what he's saying. This is the pastor who is leading Bible in 365 with Erika Kirk. He took Charlie's letter. I don't know if he has a tick or something with his eyes, but he took Charlie's letter and read it. And is now telling us that as Americans, we are inconsequential because we are not the Tiny Hat country.
Completely inconsequential. My hope and my prayer is that the inconsequentiality of the United States of America isn't because it degraded so terribly as a result of its hatred for Israel, that it becomes a nothing.
I'm trying to understand what he said right here. I can't get that.
Inconsequential in Bible prophecy. It is. It's completely inconsequential. My hope and my prayer is that the inconsequentiality of the United States of America isn't because it degraded so terribly as a result of its hatred for Israel, that it becomes a nothing country.
Yeah, I can't. If you guys can understand what he said there, I can't understand what he said there. I don't know if it's because they went against Israel. He's saying that we're going to become inconsequential because we didn't support Israel. I can't tell. But that's honestly what I believe, because this is how he's coming across. And again, this is the pastor who is Erika's 365 lead pastor, Bible in
My
365.
prayer is that the inconsequentiality of the United States of America is as such because there was a spiritual awakening. I'm hoping and praying that that spiritual awakening started with what happened with Charlie, because I think that's happening. And with that spiritual awakening, and yes, dare I even say the revival amongst the church, that the United States of America becomes inconsequential in Bible prophecy by virtue of the fact that it was vacated because of the rapture. That's what I'm praying for. I hope you're praying for the same thing. What should this do for you? This should cause you to stand up for truth more than you've ever stood up for truth before. This should cause you to stand up for righteousness in a way you never have in the past. This should cause you to engage in the political arena. It should cause you to literally engage yourself in every other place possible to bring the truth that can only come from God's word. Why? Because everybody else is speaking a lie. Who's prominent besides them? Who's driving the war against Israel? Satan is.
You guys, this is disgusting. This is absolutely horrifying. This is terrifying. This is what she is spewing to all of the people in Bible in 365 after her husband specifically got online and said, no, we do not need to go to war with Iran. No, we don't need to just be sending money to Israel. No. And this is what her pastor does. Satan, anybody who speaks against Israel is Satan. No, it's Luciferian for you as a believer to denounce the grace of God by putting someone's ethnicity above salvation. It's Luciferian of you, pastor, to do that. And this is what she promotes. So you have to wonder why Charlie wasn't worried about being killed. Nobody was saying anything about it. No, he loved it. Everything, he loved Israel. He loved it. This is very scary to listen to, simply for the fact that this is his wife's Bible group, and this is what they are promoting in this group, despite knowing that her husband was adamantly towards the end of his life against this. He was against this idea that just because this is a nation state, that it is actually biblical Israel.
This should cause you to stand up for righteousness in a way you never have in the past. This should cause you to engage in the political arena. It should cause you to literally engage yourself in every other place possible to bring the truth that can only come from God's word. Why? Because everybody else is speaking a lie. Who's prominent besides them? Who's driving the war against Israel? Satan is. Who's the one that originally had Charlie assassinated? Satan. Who's the father of lies? Satan. Hamas follows the Quran. Their very charter quotes the Quran. Satan is the father of lies. And I read this passage to you yet again. It says Allah is the chief of deceivers. We got a problem, don't we? We got a big problem. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Folks, there's a much bigger issue at play here. That issue is spiritual. That issue is what the Bible brings to the open. What does the Bible say? The Bible says that in the last days, the whole world will turn against Israel.
That's how they used Charlie's death in her app, and she allowed it. That's how they used Charlie's death in Erika's Bible in 365 app, you guys. To promote the fact that anybody who turned against Israel is Satan. I want to read to you guys Revelation 2 verses 9. 3 verses 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship at my feet, and to know that I have loved you. He is talking about his believers. Let me give this to you in the ASV. Behold, I give of the synagogue of Satan, of them that say they are Jews and they are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come worship before my feet and to know that I have loved you. I will make them know without any doubt that I have loved you, those who are of the synagogue of Satan, those who say they are Jews and are not. But this is what Erika Kirk's app did right after Charlie's death. My little brother loved this country, that country. So I guess another member was shocked because she expected, she just expected a little bit more, like sort of like more closely with Catholicism. I can't speak today. She expected something that was a little more closely tied with Catholicism and something that was a little bit more neutral. And she was shocked with the Bible 365 app. So take a listen.
I'm in Erika Kirk's Bible in 365 program. Obviously, not as many people are in that program as watch Kaddis. But so something a lot of people don't know is that her Bible in 365 program is anti-Catholic. And I don't mean that Catholics can't join, okay? I think it's wonderful for everyone to join. However, the program is run in conjunction with a Calvary Chapel pastor, Pastor James Kaddis. And every day it'll give you like 4 or 5 chapters to read. And then there's a little part underneath each reading where you can click for additional commentary, additional notes. And it takes you to a website called enduringword.com. Now, you have to sign up for Bible in 365. It's free, but you do have to sign up. Enduringword.com is just a public site. You can access it, look into it for yourself. What I've noticed in being in this program for the past 2 months or so is that a lot of the commentary, not like an overwhelming amount, but it's noticeable, is not only pro-Israel, but it's also anti-Catholic.
Yes, specifically because Catholics rightly believe in the idea that just because someone calls themselves an Israelite does not make them a chosen person, and it does not save them. Catholics do not believe in ethnic idolatry. They do not. What in the Luciferian nonsense did we just hear from that quote unquote pastor girl? Exactly. He works with the police force. He works with not intelligence. He works with security, works with networking. And now we got a mouthful, an earful about how you are Satan if you don't agree with what the tiny hats are doing. Unbiblical. Like completely unbiblical.
And why am I telling you that? Well, I'm not telling you that to poke the bear between Catholics and Protestants and to get people fighting in my comments. I would prefer if you don't. Charlie wouldn't want us to do that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm telling you that because in my view, Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk loved each other.
Okay, we're going to play that one more time because I want to read the...
I'm in Erika Kirk's Bible in 365 program. Obviously, not as many people are in that program as watch Kaddis. But so something a lot of people don't know is that her Bible in 365 program is anti-Catholic. And I don't mean that Catholics can't join, okay? I think it's wonderful for everyone to join. However, the program is run in conjunction with a Calvary Chapel pastor, Pastor James Kaddis. And every day it'll give you like 4 or 5 chapters to read. And then there's a little part underneath each reading where you can click for additional commentary, additional notes. And it takes you to a website called enduringword.com. Now, you have to sign up for Bible in 365. It's free, but you do have to sign up. Enduringword.com is just a public site. You can access it, look into it for yourself. What I've noticed in being in this program for the past 2 months or so is that a lot of the...
So, this was a shadow fulfilled and done away with when Jesus offered a perfect cleansing. Therefore, there is no value in holy water used by the Roman Catholic Church. So what's interesting to me is that if Charlie was, quote unquote, becoming Catholic, was she just going along with him whilst also promoting this sort of thing in her program? Like I'm confused about where her beliefs lie, because if you're this staunchly anti-Catholic, you have no business going to a Catholic church.
Commentary, not like an overwhelming amount, but it's noticeable.
So this one says, for the Babylonians, the Queen of Heaven was a maternal deity connected with the moon, with family and fertility. It is strange and shocking that Roman Catholics give Mary, the mother of Jesus, the same title and direct to her improper prayer and veneration, sometimes even in worship. We have no biblical permission or encouragement to have any connection with the Queen of Heaven. Some observe that modern people worship the Queen of Heaven under other names, Mother Nature, feminism, or glamour. So this is very obviously anti-Catholic. So it's very interesting that her programming, for Bible in 365 is so pro Tiny Hat, pro Philadelphia, and anti-Catholicism when we have photos of them in mass together. I wouldn't be surprised. Just like you said, she's a shapeshifter. Yeah. And that's what I think is happening. Because again, it doesn't make sense. We have photos of them at mass. And, here's a thought too. I just thought about this. Because I know she was like working with a pastor. She said, I read the Bible, for the first time with the pastor. But I wonder if she stopped going to mass when Charlie became like heavily evangelical and they just went to church together. And then as he started to become like crave orthodoxy, like she also tagged along, because again, that would just be her shape-shifting. So nothing makes sense. Like you want to be congruent as a human being, and Erika is not congruent.
Is not only pro-Israel, but it's also anti-Catholic. And why am I telling you that? Well,
understanding the strength and breadth of the statement shows us that the Antichrist is the Pope is far too simplistic. He will sponsor a religion that does not tolerate the worship of anything other than himself. The apostate Roman Catholic Church may be a part of end times religion, but it will not encompass it. Again, very, very anti-Catholic. And I just wonder if she knew, like, did she just not care, or does she not know?
I'm not telling you that to poke the bear between Catholics and Protestants and to get people fighting in my comments. I would prefer if you don't. Charlie wouldn't want us to do that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm telling you that because, in my view, Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk loved each other.
And so she's going to get into the fact that they were unequally yoked, so to speak. And I will go a step further and say they were unequally yoked simply because she became who she needed to be Charlie Kirk's wife. And I'm willing to bet that she will be far more lighthearted and far more bubbly and fun and less Christianese once, she moves on to another person. I'm willing to bet that. Because I think who she genuinely is a fun and upbeat person. And she shapeshifted into this meek character where I just quote Bible verses every other sentence and say, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. And I don't have a personality and I shrink back because my husband's this great giant. And I just don't believe that that's who she is. But I believe that that's who she wanted to become in order to be famous. And that's what she did. So this was quite the connection. I'm sure Candace will come up. We'll see this on Monday, she'll see this over the weekend and she'll have something to say on Monday about it. But I saw that as I was scrolling through the internet and thought, wow, Erika Kirk's lead pastor in Bible 365 is Egyptian. He is, has extensive background in security and cybersecurity. So we know geofencing is happening with every single person who's on that app. Thank God I didn't download that app before, after Charlie died. I thought, I should get into the app with Erika Kirk. No, thank God I did not, because I'd be getting tracked all over the place. Not that I'm already not. So absolutely fascinating. Yet another connection, yet another piece of the puzzle. And people keep saying, Candace doesn't have a story. She doesn't have a story. Well, she doesn't have a story yet, but you get enough puzzle pieces together and things start to make sense. And that's exactly That's exactly what happened. Let's get into something kind of fun now. Let's get into the fact that Alex Clark is a mean girl. Okay. Can I show you guys? She's a straight up mean girl under the guise of like Christianity. This is what she posted. Do I have it here? Yes, this is what she posted on her X account. Let me just show you guys this hot foolery. She's got a mental problem. Charlie, so someone posted, in the last 15 months I worked for Charlie Kirk, real Kaddis's name came up exactly once when I asked him about her. He simply rolled his eyes. It was all I needed to know about how he felt about her. And Alex Clark goes, yep, he was asking for her calls to be screened, saying she gave him anxiety. We all know the truth. So this is what she's posting on X. Nobody believes it. It's just people are like, you're a liar, and then this is what people are posting.
Well, we'll continue to pray for him. And I wanted to ask you again, how is your relationship with Candace Owens nowadays?
She's a great friend. Look, I don't agree with everything Candace says, but you know what I don't do? I don't stop being friends with people just because people morally blackmail me. I don't do that, and you shouldn't either. I have different views on things as Candace. I have different views on Israel than Candace. I have different views on a lot of geopolitics. But honestly, I traveled the country with Candace. I went to her wedding. I saw her meet her husband. I went to Israel with Candace, which is a fun story I'll tell you at some point. But what I don't like is when people demand, you must stop being friends with somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a left-wing tactic. Don't do that. I'm not saying you do that, but other people do that. We should never resort to that. In fact, if you believe what I believe, shouldn't you want me to be friends with people that don't agree with us? Shouldn't you want me to also be a tool of influence? And so I think the world of Candace. She's a great mother. She certainly has very, very fun opinions at times. And she's a great talent. She says a lot of stuff that sometimes I don't agree with, but that's what makes our relationship and our friendship interesting. My advice to all of you, you might not like somebody, but never tell somebody like me to stop being friends with somebody on an interpersonal level just because of disagreement. It's bad. It's what the left does, and we should rise above it as conservatives. Thank you so much.
So anyway, I thought I would share that with you guys on X. That's what they're doing is they're going around saying that Candace was scared I'm sorry, that Charlie was scared of Candace and she gave him sores. Alex Clark is absolutely a sore loser and a spoiled brat. And there's something very childish about her that I can't quite put my finger on. Like she is, I watched her. Okay, this is such gossipy and it don't make no sense. But let me tell you guys, I watched this episode of her on the Allie Beth Stuckey show, and she was talking about her boyfriend, which I'm sure he's dumped her by now because she's insufferable. And she just sounded like a teenage girl. Like she sounded like someone with no like sense of self. She just sounded like, oh, I'm just in love. I met this guy. And I was like, why are you talking about him like you're a teenager? But that's her. I can't stand her. And then after Candace was like, yeah, basically she called what's that company, Paleo Valley. I was like, oh yeah, this girl's got issues. But anyway, yeah, she's been a mean girl. She'll chime in on things on X and sort of start making up these lies about Candace because she's angry. But that's Alex Clark over there. So anyway, yeah, she wanted to rage quit with Paleo Valley because Candace is also sponsored with them. Yeah, she called them and said, take Candace off your sponsorship list or I'm done. And they were like, bye. Like they were like, no, we don't care. And then another thing happened very similarly. Oh, she actually posted that she was that she called another sponsorship or called another company and tried to get Candace banned. She posted that on X. I can't find it now because it was a while ago. But she was like, yeah, she posted, oh, I'm looking for, I'm calling sponsors, I'm calling media companies and telling them to stop sponsoring Candace. I was like, what are you doing? You come across as an impetulant toddler. Like, please stop doing that. But that's her. That's her. Okay, you guys, that's it for tonight because it's late here. I have some pre-recorded videos coming out on other topics, but I will likely see you guys back Sunday or Monday night, probably not tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me. Please don't forget to like, share this video so my channel can grow if you really like this content, and I will see you guys later.